Music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 965thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 965thechill.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I have Pawnee School District Superintendent Tim Crudeville on studio right now. Great to have you back here, Mr. Crudeville.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It seems like a long time.
It has been a little while with winter and Christmas, and then we had some school spotlight events that you updated us about. I haven't seen you personally in a little while. So tell me a little bit about how the Pawnee School District is doing.
We're cruising along. So I was dropping my daughter off for school this morning, and we were talking about just how fast the school year goes. And everybody says that once you get in, that the school year moves pretty quickly. But to think that, within basically a month and a half, we'd be graduating another group is just hard for me to believe. I'm in my 23rd year, I think it is now, and it's a blur. And when I drive into Taylorville, I always think about my time teaching and coaching here, and it seems like a distant memory at this point. I started here in 99, I think it was. But our spring sports are starting to kick off. We just finished school production of Clue, which our students did a fantastic job. We're very fortunate for a school district our size that not only do we offer a lot of athletics, we offer a lot of that other activities, and our fine arts program has always been pretty strong between our band and our choirs and our plays. So our small school district offers a lot for our kids, and we're just excited that this has been a normal, solid school year for us, and look forward to probably the seniors for sure, but all of us look forward to getting to the summer.
And you hit on it a little bit without getting into too much detail. You mentioned it's just a normal school year and I guess compared to other years of recent memory, if you could give me a little bit more detail about how, if you could characterize the way the school year has gone compared to other school years of the last, say, 3 to 5 years.
Well, the way and what we have come through over the past couple of years, you had a tendency to forget what normal was. And, walking down the hallways, the whole school district, obviously now, we're one building. So I get the opportunity to see pre-K through 12 and, just seeing kids that get in and out of their lockers, that don't have to wear masks, that can go out for recess, can actually do group work in classrooms. The way that learning was meant to be had. It's just such a positive feeling. It's such a positive learning environment, and it's been nice. They said you don't realize how much you miss that normalcy until it's gone for a couple years, and then when you get back into it, they said you just realize how much you miss it. And they said it's been a great school year. Our kids have been excellent. We've got great teachers, great administrators, and support staff. So, I'm thrilled to death to continue to be superintendent in the Pawnee School District.
You already mentioned one of the examples of quote unquote normalcy, the play Clue. How many kids were part of that play?
By the time you figure out cast and all the supporting members with stage crew and sound and makeup and everything, probably about 20 to 25 kids. So, when you are looking at a school district that we are, which is about 150 kids, I mean, that's a pretty good percentage of the people that are involved in a production such as that. And then you look at the cast and see the other things that they're involved in. I mean, they're involved in baseball or softball or basketball. I mean, there are multiple things that they do in a small school district. And for us to survive, our kids have to be involved in many different things and have to be, diversified to participate in all of those things, because if not, our activities would dry up.
And overall, how important are extracurriculars to a well-rounded experience?
I think it's very important. I mean, you know, schools always talk about the academics, which is obviously number one, but you don't go someplace socially and sit down and listen to a bunch of people sit there and talk about I had a Spanish class my freshman year. That was the best experience of my life. They're going to sit there and talk about their athletic prowess or band concerts or National Honor Society or the other clubs and organizations that they're involved in. And those are the types of memories that they have. And again, not to minimize the educational aspect, because that is number one, but a solid extracurricular program is very important to the health and success of a school district.
I'm glad you mentioned National Honor Society because they recently had their banquet with Pawnee School District. How did it go?
We did. It went really well. It was this last weekend. We have right now our largest amount of students that have ever been in National Honor Society. Not that the expectations are easier to get people in. It's just that, with a small school, you kind of come in cycles, and we're at a point in our cycle where we've got a very strong academic group within the high school realm. So, it's exciting to see that many kids qualify and get selected. I think we're memberships somewhere in the 20s, I think, where it is. So that's pretty good for us.
What did you say, 150 students in your school district?
Yeah, roughly.
I mean, I think you can at home do the math. That's a pretty high percentage of National Honor Society students. Going along a little bit more with your extracurriculars, something I'm noticing on your district calendar, your Scholastic Bowl. Do you have a little bit of background on what that is?
Oh yeah, our we do have a high school, junior high Scholastic Bowl team, and our high school Scholastic Bowl team had one of their best seasons ever. I think they started off 9 or 10-0. Finished, I believe, second in the conference. Did well in regionals. I mean, didn't win their regional, but Lisa Bolson's our head coach there, who's a science teacher for us at the high school, and Brendan Charles is a social studies teacher for us. He was assistant coach. She had her largest group of students this year that she's ever had, and they had a just a solid season. I know they were very, very excited about how things went. And that's just another example within our school district of another organization that has good participation and has had some success.
I think a Scholastic Bowl is really interesting because you see the banner sometimes in like the gymnasium, and it's one of those, lack of a better term, sports that aren't really a sport but are kind of treated as such. Can you give me a little bit of a rundown of what happens for Scholastic Bowl?
Well, basically it's a group Jeopardy type of competition. You have, I think it's either 4 or 5 aside. I think it's 4 aside, and it's a quiz bowl. And you ring in and you answer questions, and you get points for answering questions. Obviously, you want to ring in quickly, and you earn your points. And at the end, obviously, the team with the most points wins the competition. So it's important to be sharp and quick to be able to hear the questions and answer in a quick manner. And like I said, we just had a good group of kids this year,
especially in your high school. And your junior high season is happening right now, as I understand.
It is, and it's getting to the point where it's starting to wrap up. And same thing in the past, we've had a pretty good junior high program as well. As with anything, there are conflicts. So you have kids that are pulled different directions. So, the amount of, I think that Brian Wilson, who's a sponsor for that, I think he has about 10 or 11 kids, which again, for junior high, when you look at 90 kids in our 7th and 8th grade, it is not a bad number.
That's not bad at all. Mr. Cardavell, I noticed that is a Pawnee baseball. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it is a Pawnee baseball.
I always have to ask you about baseball. What are your thoughts about the baseball program this year?
I think we have a solid program. Last night, I didn't see last night's game. I actually had to leave, but I know we played last night. Softball program played last night. Decent participation again. Our baseball and softball programs usually are pretty strong. Chris Henneman, who's our grade school principal, who I kind of kidded in the off that I was going to bring in today, and he's just too busy. I got him doing too many things back at the school, but he's been the head coach there for well over 20 years, very successful. We have, I think, 18 or 19 kids out for baseball this year, and just a good, solid core. We lost 2 seniors last year. One of them was my son. So I'm not around the games quite as much as I've been in the past, but it was a good core of kids that were coming back. So I would expect that they would have a successful season. Our softball team, I think we have about 12 kids out for softball, pretty young. We have, I think, 1 or 2 seniors and 1 or 2 juniors. So, but our upperclassmen are usually pretty solid players. So, we'll see how their season goes as well.
For varsity, or I beg your pardon, for baseball, it sounds like you have enough for, a little bit. Do you have enough for a JV team too, here and there? And you can kind of cycle them between, what I'm saying? The upper level JV team can go field for varsity and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is that always the case that you guys are able to do that?
Again, it comes in cycles.
Yeah.
The last couple years, we have had enough for a varsity and a JV team. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, we did not. It just depends. It depends on how many boys are in class and how many participate. And, things in athletics have changed just a little bit. And I know we always sit there and we talk about, well, when I was in high school and all of those types of things, but nobody is happy sitting on the bench, obviously.
Right.
But it becomes a point where a lot of times if a kid doesn't think they're going to start, they don't go out. So that is not the case right now, obviously, in our baseball program. But, there's been times in the past that if you're not the star, you're not the starter, you don't go out. And for small school districts, that really hurts us because you might get, it was a few years ago. And again, Chris has had a lot of success. We have 10 or 11 kids out for baseball. Kid's ineligible, kid gets hurt, and now you might have to cancel games. And unfortunately, that happened to us with our high school girls basketball program this year. We had low numbers, couple injuries, couple things, and now you have to cancel games. So, the good teammate that's happy being the 7th or 8th man, that's not as common as it used to be. And unfortunately, athletics can suffer as a result of that because the 7th or 8th person is really just as important as the 1st or 2nd person to the function of a team.
Especially a team competing at a high level, I would say the depth is just so important. But that's Superintendent Tim Crudeville of the Pawnee School District here on the WTIM Morning Show. After the short break, perhaps talking a little bit about some of the construction happening at Pawnee School District. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first.
WTIM.
Parents wondering what your kids will do all summer? Want them to enjoy the amazing beauty of Southern Illinois and participate in a great camp experience? Or are you looking for a low-cost spring or late summer getaway for your whole family or group? Visit campcrew.org and explore all of our summer camp choices for kids and the great camp rental rates for groups. This is Shalis Nagel, Executive Director with Kimmerer Village. We are a proud partner with Camp Crew in Makanda, Illinois. Check out campcrew.org for all the fun waiting for you.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR Genuine Country 94.3.
I'm Rayleigh Aller. I'm the freshman student of the month at Taylorville High School. My dad is David Aller and my stepmom is Jane Aller. My extracurricular activities include bowling and being part of the Tommy Awards Council. My interests include art and film production, and in the future I plan on attending college after I graduate and spending a lot of my time traveling across the world.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hey, Central Illinois, it's Big D.
And this is Bubba. What's up?
Hey, we're here to let you know that we're here to wake you up Monday through Saturday mornings on newcountry.fm as part of a great lineup of today's new country music. And you can hear us at 104.1 in Taylorville and the surrounding area.
Keep your radio on after the show and keep listening for today's country hits and the latest in artist news with our friend Carson, who hosts Country with Carson weekdays from 9 till 2.
And New Country FM doesn't stop there. You can find today's new Country at 104.1 the rest of the day and night.
We're proud to be a part of the great lineup of programming on New Country FM at 104.1 across Central Illinois.
Hope you'll join us for music, fun, artist visits, and so much more on the Big D and Bubba Show Monday through Saturday mornings on newcountry.fm.
Big D and Bubba.
Trevor Huth here, and make sure to wake up with Big D and Bubba Monday through Saturday. They're at 104.1 on your radio dial. That is New Country 104.1.
It's a first in the Taylorville automotive market. With your purchase of a new or pre-owned vehicle at Landmark of Taylorville, you will get at no extra charge our Landmark of a lifetime powertrain warranty. General Sales Manager Bill Pinkston here to thank you for your business in 2022. And for our way of saying thanks is to offer you a lifetime powertrain warranty on our new and pre-owned vehicles we sell. You will have peace of mind when you buy from Landmark for a lifetime. Come by and see my friendly staff for specific details. And remember,
You always do better at Landmark. Your information station. WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your show brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. Superintendent of Pawnee School District, Tim Credible in studio. And before going to break, we talked a little bit about the status of Pawnee School District. And one of the things we didn't mention is how there's some construction happening at Pawnee School District. Mr. Credible, if you wouldn't mind, provide me a little bit of a state of the construction.
Well, it's kind of been that never-ending conversation. I know this has been, at least the conversation part's been going on for well over a year now. And you know, when you make permanent decisions like that, you don't want to rush into anything. And you know, our buildings have a little bit of age on them, and we're still trying to decide whether we're going to renovate or build new. Kind of on the table right now is a renovation of the grade school with possibly a gym and a small classroom addition. One of the other things that has been discussed is tear down the grade school and build a brand new grade school. And then we've also discussed just doing renovation throughout the school district. We've tried to do some smaller projects, you know, to keep things up to where they need to be. We've done some parking lots and some small internal improvements, but we're trying to get to the point to make that big decision of where we might spend, you know, say a 14 to 15 to maybe $18 million project to make some major renovations. There really hasn't been any major renovations in our district since 1977. So there are some things that need to be upgraded. We're still kind of waiting on to see if the power plant's coming in. I mean, there's movement out there, but that's a big chunk of money that would be coming in the district that could be redirected towards some construction. So, you know, right now we are waiting to after the election and then possibly make a decision, not necessarily if we're gonna build or renovate, but if we're going to start the public input process. And that's kind of what we need to do first before we actually decide if we're going to put any dollars towards any types of projects. So we're making progress. Again, when you want a building that's going to last 70, 80 or more years, you want to make sure you make the right investment for your community. So we're not jumping into anything, but we are, again, making some progress.
Help me connect the dots a little bit. You mentioned how you're waiting on the power plant to see if that's coming in. And I am inferring here, and you can correct me or take it however way you want to after this, but I'm inferring that you're waiting to see if the power plant comes in, because if the power plant comes in, then that could potentially be more tax dollars for the district.
Absolutely. You know, we know an amount of money that we can safely bond out based on our 1% sales tax and our bonding capacity. We, you know, our taxes are the lowest in the county, and we are proud that our taxes are the lowest in the county. So we do not want to hit our citizens with any type of tax increase. So we know what we can safely bond out without raising the tax rate. And, you know, part of this power plant is a possibility of pumping about $500,000 into our school district every year for the next 22 years. We would have the ability to bond that, then, which would then give us the ability to raise an amount of money that we could do a building project. Now, if that doesn't happen, then obviously our bonding capacity is limited, and then we have to kind of redefine our scope of what we want to do. So like I said, they've been doing construction out at the site, moving some power lines, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that source of revenue is going to come in, and then we can obviously just move forward to make good fiscal decisions as far as building for our community.
I don't have enough time to get into what you're really hoping for this project. So really quick, and we're running out of time. So just really quick, if you could name a date, a target date for all of this to be done, can you at this time? And if you can, what would you say?
We can't yet until we decide what our project is. But you'd like to think within 2 years, we could have some sort of progress done.
I'm hoping to see it. That's Superintendent Tim Crottville. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Sorry, I get to rambling sometimes and we butt up against the time limit.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Crottville.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Senate set to vote today on a bill revoking the use of force authorization